that there are some exciting times ahead. Definitely some difficult times for us as young people, but we're here and we've tried to take accountability for who we are, and let's support each other along the way, and hope and make a better future.
Hello, all. Very good evening. Thanks for watching the first video. And in last 3 days, we have achieved 100 plus views. So thanks for doing that. And here I am again with episode 2. And please like this channel, like this video, and it's just a beginning. Trust me, it's just a beginning. There's plenty of things which is lined up. So make sure you tune into this channel, subscribe yourself, and keep watching the content which will be out on this channel. So today I have a very special friend of mine. She is one person. If you talk about modesty, humbleness, sweetness, she has all those element in her. I know this person from last 6 years now. We have volunteered together. We have co-led few teams. An engineer by education, and right now working in a wonderful organization, Reap Benefit. Please check out their work. They are doing some amazing social change work through school students. And here I welcome my friend Madhumita from Chennai today. Hi, Madhu.
Hello, Akshay. Thank you for having me. Thanks for this opportunity.
Yeah, I would like to thank you for being here. And how are you doing, Madhu, today? How are you?
I am doing good. So I think today my working day was a bit relaxing because schools are on leave for Varalakshmi Puja, so I didn't have like sessions. Generally, I take sessions for students across different schools in Chennai and other parts of Tamil Nadu, like Karur and Coimbatore also. But today there were no sessions. I just had some meetings, and the rest of the day I was putting together like few bits and pieces which got left behind. So I had a relaxing day after a pretty long time.
Let's start. Where are you from, Madhu, and what do you do right now?
So I am from Chennai. Right now, I'm working in an organization like you mentioned, Akshay. It's called Rebenefit. Rebenefit is an organization which was started a few years ago, and our organization's aim is to inspire change through youth. And we believe that working in our own communities and solving civic and environmental problems in our own communities is the way to go. So I've been working here for almost a year now, and
Nice. So Madhu, before getting into your journey of social sector work, we would like to know where did you study and what kind of education, not just at UG level, but also from your childhood.
okay, so no, I was born in Chennai. I grew up here. A few years I spent like living abroad. My dad had a job in Dubai, so we lived there for a few years. And I came back just before I started eighth grade. So I studied in Vidya Mandir School. It's in Mylapore. And after that, I did my engineering at Rajalakshmi Engineering College. So I did computer science. It was fun. I think I had a good time in college. I worked for a couple of years in the IT industry. I worked with an MNC in Bangalore. And then I think somewhere along the line, my volunteering experience with Bhumi was a major contributing factor to me realizing where some of my strengths were. And also, I felt that like the role which I was in at that point of time was maybe not the kind of place which I wanted to be in the long term. Say like I couldn't visualize myself like 20 years or 30 years, just interacting with computers. So I felt that need for a human connection. I guess you can say that. I also felt it was the right time to maybe explore different things and take a risk. So I applied to a bunch of different colleges across humanities, social work, education programs, and no, I was just like kind of shooting in the darkness, like maybe I'll get accepted in one place. But I applied to three, four colleges, and I got accepted into all of them. So it gave me some kind of faith that okay, I must be doing something right, for for it to, like, it felt like the universe was telling me to just go for it. So then I decided to do my MA in social work, with the specialization in children and families, at Tata Institute of Social Sciences in Mumbai. So that started in 2018, and I finished last year. Yeah.
So just help me. When did your volunteering journey start? Like I remember you started volunteering with Bhumi in 2015, 14, 15. Was that the first organization? Was Bhumi the first organization, or it's somewhere else as well?
No, Bhumi was the first organization which I volunteered for, and I was teaching English at the shelter home called Seva Samajam in Adyar. It's next to IIT campus. So that was my first experience, and I think it made me realize that no, I really enjoy being around children. I think from a young age, I always thought, like, I felt like teacher was one of the things I wanted to be. But then, we all grow up with certain things, and then, you explore many things in the world, and you just kind of leave behind some of the thoughts from earlier. But
Hmm.
I felt like through the volunteering experience, I was able to interact with children, and I think that made me feel very happy. And also, I felt that kind of joy and warmth from 2 hours in that week. It's not like the children were super disciplined. They used to be naughty. I used to shout a lot and come back with a sore throat, but I used to come back satisfied, and I used to feel good. And the best part of going there was that after a point, when the children actually started to like me, when they saw me like come in with my two-wheeler or walk into the campus, they used to actually be like, Madhumita is here, and they used to like run to the gate and stuff. So I felt, no, I felt very special about that. um and I think it was that, like, that's where I thought that, no, working with children is something I really enjoy, because it's not really about me teaching them, but I saw them as, people who, everybody looks at children as people in the future, they'll become something, the future they'll do something. But I think I realized that they don't have to become something in the future, like who they are at present, and the age, whatever age they are, in that age itself, they can be very inspiring, and just spread that joy and warmth. Yeah, I think that's where it all started.
I can't imagine you shouting because I have seen Madhu always being humble, soft spoken, and sweet. I really can't imagine. I think I missed that moment of you screaming in class. I should have witnessed that. But said that, yeah, I honestly agree that the warmth and the joy we get after teaching these kids on a weekend was sheer happiness, right? Nothing can be compared to what level of emotion or satisfaction we used to get after teaching. So, Madhu, you were teaching for a year, right? And then you shifted yourself into a leadership model, or you got yourself, you became a leader in the project you were teaching. So, what was that journey like?
So I taught in Seva Samajam for about 2 years actually, and then when I got a job, I shifted to Bangalore. So I think that was when I took up a leadership role, which was a very different experience, because I didn't really get to meet students every week, and I my role at that time was that of HR coordinator. So I had to conduct orientations and recruit volunteers and make sure that everybody was happy being like contributing to the project and things like that. So I think that no, I've always been someone who can talk to people, but then the like managing people is a whole different ball game. And I think that no, in the beginning it was definitely like difficult, and we had, I think, six centers at that time in Bangalore. So my project coordinator, her name is Asta. So Asta and I, no, we had a very good working relationship. We managed to build that kind of open space. So we were really able to support each other and get some really good volunteers on board and work on the project. The year after that, I took up the role of project coordinator for a few months, and then after that, I had to just step back from the role because I was trying to make these larger decisions around, what am I going to do with my career. So at that point, I went back to being a volunteer, and that was joyful. Uh, Till then, I was kind of stepping in wherever people were missing, and I would go make like visits to the centers. Like every center, I would visit every center at least once in like 5 to 6 weeks, or some frequency. I used to visit the centers, but after I stepped back from the leadership role, I went back to teaching, and that was more fun. Managing is good, but I didn't I think I built a lot of different skill sets. And I think one thing which kept me going was that no like I'm reaching a lot more people by being in that leadership position, by making sure that everyone in my team has what they need. I'm able to bring some clarity to the table, and they're able to execute the sessions well with the students and have those good experience. Means that no, I'm also a part of that. I'm not directly a part of it, but I am some part of it. So that kind of kept me going.
Nice, nice, nice. You just took a name of one of my favorite lead or peer lead or co-lead when we were leading Asta. Another humble and honest person I have met in my life. So Asta, if you're listening to this, high five and thanks for being there for us. I personally have learned a lot from Asta. So thanks, Asta, for giving us that inspiration. So, Madhu, here you just mentioned us, right, that you shifted Chennai to Bangalore, right? Both the cities have a total opposite vibe to it. How was that shift, like from Chennai to Bangalore? Like,
Well, it was the first time for me being away from my family, so it was very different. I think it was definitely hard, but I think I discovered like few things about myself while I was staying on my own with some of my colleagues at my workplace. Um, I think one thing that really stood out for me a lot over there was whether wherever I went, I observed a lot of women in Bangalore, and they always carried themselves with so much grace, poise, and confidence. So I felt like I felt like I want to be more like that.
nice,
I want to be someone who can take care of things on my own. I'm able to do manage things by myself. So even when I'm just going in the bus, I'll just look at all these people. It's not like anyone was like very like decked up or heavily dressed or anything, but just the way they carried themselves was something I came to admire and respect, and I felt like I need to I need to get that kind of thing in myself. So I think that was the thing which really stood out for me the most. And of course, the cultural thing is there because Bangalore is now an influx of people from all over the country. So I also got to meet at my workplace and even at Bhumi people from very different parts of the country who had all like very different journeys. So that was also really good, coupled with bad PG food and like insane traffic, and just taking like 1 hour to reach an office which is 4 kilometers away. So it was very different. So I used to come home maybe once in 6 weeks was my frequency. And yeah, it was a good time, I would say. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and your journey from Bangalore to Mumbai, right? You were gradually moving to much more busier cities, right? Chennai, Bangalore, Mumbai, Mumbai for TIS, right? So, can you just share a brief about your TIS journey? Or firstly, before even getting into your journey, can you share about the TIS itself? What TIS is and what do they do?
Okay, so Tata Institute of Social Sciences is a social sciences institute, and they have we have like four campuses in the college. So Mumbai is the main campus. We also have a campus in Tuljapur, that's in Maharashtra. We have one in Hyderabad, and we have one in Guwahati also. So we have like four campuses in college, and the campus where I went, like it's the largest campus. So TIS offers a lot of courses in social work. We have 9 specializations in social work. It's the oldest social work college in India, in Asia, in fact. So even like pre-independence period is when the college was started. Social work was the first department that opened. We also it also offers a lot of courses around public health and habitat studies, governance, and human resource management. So all different kinds of courses are there in the college. Um, and I think if there's one thing that really stands out from this is having that kind of space for discourse. So not all people in any kind of space will have similar thought processes, but that was a place where different schools of thought, people used to have like open discussions and debates on a lot of things. So I think just being in that kind of campus is a different energy and vibe altogether. It felt like a place where change was brewing, and it was maybe just starting up. And over time, people who come out of there, I felt like, you know when I stepped into the campus for the first time, I felt like, this is something that's going to change my life. So yeah, that's it.
Thanks for sharing that, Madhu. So, Madhu, your journey in Chennai was as a volunteer, in Bangalore as a lead, and in Mumbai as a student, right? What was the transformational you can see within yourself?
I think one of the biggest things would be that I realized how much of a reflective person I am. So I used to think that reflection was just overthinking and overcomplicating or over analyzing things. But I think the course and the way it was structured, especially with fieldwork, where it was very important for us to just look back on our fieldwork days and just write. We had to write recordings. We call them recordings of what had transpired, what were our plans, how did we feel, what are we planning to do next. So I think that helped made me realize that a lot of learning happens in hindsight. So I think one biggest transformation I see in myself is that a lot of pieces in my life that happened before, like 23 or 24 years of my life, I was able to piece it together when I did that self reflection. um, so I think that is the biggest transformation. And second, I think I've got even more like a fierce commitment towards a commitment and responsibility, and also hope for young people, especially children, because I think I realized that a lot of damage and can be done at at young age to a lot of people, and we often don't realize it, what our experiences do to us until we are much older. And children, in India right now, children, we have the highest population in the world of people below the age of 18, and they don't have a voice because they don't vote, right? So they don't have everyone makes decisions for children but not really with children. It's not and
Hmm.
everyone has different opinions as to what would be best for the child. and often that child is even missing from the picture. So I think one thing which I have decided which I want to do is work with children in my career and make sure that they have that agency, they're able to recognize that agency, and in the spaces where they are, uh, it's not only about a child shouting and saying, hey, hear me, but it's everybody else, all the adults around them, realizing that this is not a person whom we can just tell what to do. We can't really decide their lives for them. Yes, we are older, yes, we have experience, but we have to keep the child themselves in the center. So that is something which like I want to do now.
Wow, wow. This is what inspiration is, Madhu. So moving forward, Madhu, when you were in this, right? If I remember correctly, the timeline of yours this, at that time there were many voices being raised, right? The of activism was happening. What were you going through that in that particular time?
So for me, I think that major thing I realized is that I'm very ignorant in all these things. Like I didn't really know about CA or NRC or like Kashmir. I didn't know a lot of things because I don't think it's not a justified thing, but perhaps I never felt the need to know because it didn't affect my life directly. So I got to learn a little bit about this, not in the classroom, but from experiences what people were sharing about these things. That I got to understand. Maybe even then, I would say it's very like surface level of learnings you are taking away from people's like what people are telling you, because everyone has an experience, and no, we can't invalidate anybody's experience. So for me the struggle was I didn't really know where I belonged, or what kind of ideology I was supposed to follow, or who was right and who was wrong. For me it was never that black and white thing. I couldn't come to any conclusion, and also I felt like in that I was in a place of incredible privilege. So I couldn't for me a lot of time went in just trying to piece together my position, and I think I was undergoing some kind of identity crisis at that time, where I didn't really know what I was supposed to be feeling, or how I could not sympathize but really empathize with someone who was from a very different background than I was. And the thing is, when these kind of issue comes up, definitely people take sides. It's absolutely not wrong, but sometimes it tends to get a little polarized. I felt that kind of polarization come up, and honestly I didn't know what to do about it. I just kind of I wouldn't say I tried to avoid it. I was just more of trying to process like things that were happening around me. But something I really respected was people taking a stand and people going, to protest. A lot of protests happened on the campus. Many students were a part of it, and people were really trying to make sure that if they didn't agree with something, they tried to do it the right way. They tried to protest in a peaceful manner and make sure that their demands were put forward, and things like that. So that was a very new experience for me.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. I would like to now know about what was after TIS, right? What did you do after TIS?
During the last months of the course, I think in March was when the pandemic hit, and all of us were asked to move back to our homes, and we still had like a piece left, which was our major piece, which was our MA research. After I immediately we barely had like a few days notice. Some students decided to stay back, but then they got kind of stuck in the campus for 2 months. So I was lucky, I was able to plan my journey and reach before the lockdown was announced. I think 1 month I just spent in trying to get my research in place and like submitting it. And after that I took a small break for a few months, and then I joined Rebenefit in the month of September. And till now I've been working in Rebenefit, and every day is honestly a new learning for me. I think that it's a small organization, but people are juggling multiple roles, and I can see that or like most of the people, or even like almost all the people I've interacted with, have that kind of vision and fire to really bring about a change, and they're giving it their all. So I feel inspired to be part of this organization. Things are going very well now.
Yeah, Reap Benefit is an amazing organization. So Madhu, what has been your life experience in development sector so far?
So I would say that I think that there are some misconceptions about the development sector which people have. And if there's one thing which I've realized, my own attitude has shifted because I thought it's really easy to change people's lives. But I think I've realized that changing or transforming people's life is not an overnight journey. It takes a lot of time, energy, and efforts to bring some like systematic changes to ensure that whatever um, change you're trying to drive reaches a stable and sustainable place. um, so I think that is one thing which I realized, that if it takes years to build some kind of momentum and really reach people. Another thing which no, I realized this from like my social work degree itself, like there are all different kinds of organizations here. There are organizations which work directly with people. There are organizations which work at a policy level. There are organizations who work at with the topmost levels, and like CSRs and consultancies who provide funds to fund these kind of projects. So there are a lot of different places where people can actually contribute in this sector. And it takes a lot of, so it's not like only a person with a certain kind of skill set can work here. The diversity which I had in my own classroom at this is a testament to that. Like everyone,
Hmm,
so like you don't have to have a particular background to work in the sector. But what is really important, I would say, is the attitude that you have towards change, and the attitude you have towards people. So I think those are the two most important things, because if someone wants to work in the sector and they're coming from a charity oriented perspective, then they're going to get disappointed, because they're going to expect people to be grateful to them, um, for or people to look up to them, or people to treat them like a god or whatever, which doesn't really happen, and it's not a healthy narrative that you're setting either. Because
correct.
anybody who is in a, like this is my opinion, that people who are in a position where they don't have something and they want or they need something and someone is providing, they don't always want to be in that position where they're just taking things or they're receiving things. Um, so I think that is one of the things that I've also learned. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you have covered like pretty much about the development sector, the major chunk of development sector, that development sector is not just about charity. It's more in depth. It's more in detail, and people who are beneficiary today will be benefactor tomorrow for sure. Madhu, moving forward, what are the few tips you would like to give to people who would like to join development sector as full time?
Welcome, please come. We need people, we need more hands on deck. The second thing is, like I said, the change takes time. There aren't many people who will appreciate, like, your as a person, like your efforts. You may not get appreciation from the community that you're working with. You may not get appreciation from your team or the organization you're working with. But I think what's important is for you to periodically give yourself a pat on your back, because you're actively trying to be a part of the solution and not the problem. There will be low points, for sure. They might come more often than not, depending on the kind of job you take. But it's very important to just step back and allow yourself some appreciation, some good things. And when you feel overwhelmed, that's the best time to also take a step back. Don't make any decisions which will affect the lives of people when you're not in a great state. It's easy to get kind of burnt out and dejected when you feel like things aren't going your way, things are stuck in some bureaucratic thing and you're not able to do anything. What's important in also in this kind of work is to document things. I think that's one thing which I've seen at Rebenefit, which they do is we're trying to document a lot of the ideas, the work we are doing, and the impact that we're trying to achieve.
Hmm.
So having some kind of data orientation is very important for you to realize, what is the magnitude of work you're doing. It's not only numbers, and the qualitative aspect is equally, if not more, important for that.
Nice, nice, nice. So, Madhu, we have come to last segment of our conversation. So, this is one fascinating segment, I would say, and very interesting segment, which I like a lot. The segment is called "What If," right? So, we would like to hear one "What If" moment in your social sector or development sector journey so far.
That's a very powerful question. I don't know if I've really thought about this, but I think one thing that I think is strongly coming to my mind is, what if, all of us, or what if all, just speaking in terms of the future and the past, I would say, what if, children grew up in safe environments, with protective families, and systems that help them live up to their potential. So I think that is
Hmm.
like, what would the world be like if that happened, if we were a healthy society which didn't focus only on, say, rote learning or education, but more than education, the really kind of upbringing and family, setup that we have. And a lot of the things I realized, like poverty, or a lot of misfortune, and people living in difficult circumstances from a young age, it's been, all of that affects the lives of people. And I think systemic change is definitely like one way in which, we'll be able to liberate, like people can get liberated from, these kind of situations. So my what if is
Thanks
this.
for bringing that up. Thanks for sharing that strong statements and few responses, and the conversation of ours have been really, really inspiring for me in many ways. Lastly, is there anything you would like to plug about your organization, the work you guys are doing, and how can people connect with you or how can they contribute?
Yes, at the benefit, where it's an organization where people never fail to experiment. So we're trying out a lot of new things. So we have been working with young people, and now we're trying to take up more opportunities in the governance space as well. I know that we have some partnerships like started or in the process, which are going towards, working with small, village panchayats through some of our Solve Ninja. So the people we work with, the young people who are responsible and active citizens, they're Solve Ninjas. So we've had some amazing Solve Ninjas take up initiatives in different parts of the country. It's a very exciting time for us in the organization. Um, So if you want to learn more about Reap Benefit, you can check out all our social media handle like Twitter and Instagram. And if you would like to join our organization, you can check on the website. You'll find the details. In our organization, I think our motto is solve small, dent big. So we're really taking that approach of trying to be active and solve problems at a small scale, and eventually, like the impact it will reach might take some time, but it will be very significant in the later stages. So I think that's the thought which I would like to leave you all with. Solve small and dent big.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Madhu, for being here. I hope and I very much believe that this conversation will be inspiring to many people who are out there who will be watching this. Thanks for being there, and stay humble, stay sweet as you are. Uh, Take care. Have a good life ahead. We'll surely meet soon.
Yes, yes, thank you very much, Akshay. I had a good time talking to you and also reflecting on my own journey. It's been a while since I did that, and I think your what if question was very powerful. I still need to think more about that. I feel yeah, I think that there are some exciting times ahead. Definitely some difficult times for us as young people, but we're here and we've tried to take accountability for who we are, and let's support each other along the way, and hope and make a better future.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Madhu. You have been nice throughout.